What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the GoodeBaker podcast. I'm Nick Baker, and across from me, Shane Good.
Hi, I'm across from you.
And we are here to talk to you about some video games. But first things first, I'm going to make sure you check us out on Apple Music and Spotify. Also, support us on our YouTube channel, Facebook page, and of course, our Instagram pages, meme and otherwise. Just search GoodeBaker, and you'll find us. So, with that out of the way, let's get back into the show. What have you been playing this week?
You know what, dude? I've been playing League of Legends, and I said I would never do it again. Never. So I played ranked this week.
Seems like a common topic to come back to League of Legends. It's like, I'm never gonna do it, never gonna do it, and then next week it's just like, yeah, I'm back in there.
Yeah, I mean, I
I
have.
can like see your face even though I can't see your face.
Yeah. You definitely know. Um, I ended up doing. What did I go? I have a 70% win rate, almost. I think it's like a
Damn.
69 or a 68% win rate in ranked right now. Um, so I don't really lose that much. So it's kind of fun to just climb through the lower ranks because a lot of the people that I'm going up against have been in that rank for a little bit because the season, like the ranked season, started 3 months ago now.
Mhm.
So like the climb's pretty nice and mellow. But damn, is it like some people are just so toxic. The other night we had a random like person just leave because one of the dudes I was playing with, he's a support player and he took a couple of the kills because my ADC wasn't going to be able to close out the kill, and then he left him to die because my ADC was being stupid. ADC, by the way, stands for attack damage carry, which is just a bottom lane combo. But he decided he was just going to AFK, which is a typical Draven player thing, because he just
Damn.
he just decided he was gonna AFK and yell at the support. We ended up winning that game, and everybody in the game got reported, and then we got a notification later that was like, oh yeah, that dude's been punished for AFKing in a ranked.
That's glorious, man. When
Mm-hmm.
the admins for a game can actually like figure that out and be like, yeah, this guy was not helping you win this game, even though you won this game. So here
Yep,
you guys go, and this guy can go fuck himself.
pretty much, yeah. It's
Beautiful thing.
it was nice, but what have you been playing, dude?
Well, I've been chipping away at Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm almost to the end of that. I think I have like 3 or so chapters left of that.
Damn.
But without going into like super deep details, I'm just in love with that game. So I'll talk about Call of Duty and Warzone, man. I've been having some absolutely ridiculous games, and like this is just for me because I watch guys all the time, and they're getting like 20 plus kills every game, and it's fucking ridiculous. But I've been
Yeah.
kind of averaging above like 6 or 7 kills pretty much like every other game, if not like every game. I'm right up there, so I'm doing really well. Uh, at least for myself. We played a few matches last night, and we were playing quads, and I just felt like I was carrying the whole team there at the end, and just it was such an epic match. Everybody went down, and I was running around trying to do scavengers, and
Mhm.
everywhere I turned there was a guy. I opened a door, there were 2 guys, had to soak them, get up the stairs, replate, grab their plates, grab their weapons because I hadn't had a drop yet. Get to a drop so I could get my own weapons. Man, it's just such a hectic game. I'm loving how fun it is. I did dip back in for a little bit of Apex
Yeah.
last few days, and that was pretty fun. I do appreciate what that battle royale is doing because it's in a different way. It's really fast, but the player count makes it really calming almost when you go away from Warzone.
Yeah.
So you're not getting into as many bouts, but when you do get into a fight, it's pretty hectic. You can slide, jump, and the abilities of each character make it really intense, depending on who you're actually going up against. But yeah,
Sure.
Warzone has been really fun for me of late. So
That's dope.
But yeah, let's get into the big topics here. The first one of which is Xbox is releasing an Xbox One X Special Edition Cyberpunk 2077 console, and
Ooh.
it looks pretty sweet. It's going to have a standard 1 terabyte hard drive, so that's pretty standard as it comes. But it's also going to have glow in the dark highlights on the front, so there's like this little um, not like LED, but like faux LED
Mm-hmm.
energy bar on the front that's going to glow in the
Ooh.
dark.
Yeah.
So it looks pretty sweet. I'm like, oh man, if it wasn't so close to next gen, I might take a look at that.
I mean,
But
that's that. When I read this, I was like, why are we doing special orders for an Xbox One when the next gen is going to be 4 months later? Which kind of diminishes my hope for them actually releasing next gen on time a little bit. But
I have a good answer for that. Xbox is so adamant about the fact that their Xboxes are going to be a line of Xboxes. So like they're enveloping all of their like Xbox One S, Xbox One X into the next gen, so everything's going to be seamless. Like most of the games that are coming out for the Xbox Series X are
mhm,
still going to be playable and come, or at least the first party stuff's probably going to come to the Xbox Games Pass.
mhm,
So I imagine that they're just trying to cover all their bases and get some more people in on the ground floor before the big box comes out. I wouldn't be surprised that they come out with a Cyberpunk special edition for the Series X at some point. Maybe if there's um, like Game of the Year edition next year or something.
yeah. And one thing I did think about with this too is it's gonna be because everybody hates GameStop because they didn't do a bunch for it, but GameStop totally would allow like they had good deals when it came to trading in old consoles as long as you were buying a new console through them.
Mm.
And with them kind of out of the picture with the coronavirus and all that stuff, not to mention like everything else, it's going to be pretty hard for you to offload your old console at this point to get a new console as well. So I'm kind of curious to see what happens, who does what. Like,
Not to mention, it's going to be really tough to actually get those next gen consoles, just because
mm,
PlayStation actually announced this week that they're going to be in super short supply. I think they said that they're shooting to have like 7 to 8 million sold by March of next year, so March 2021. So that's not a ton of consoles. I think
no,
they crossed that line in like the first week of PS4 sales, so it's going to be in really short supply, and I imagine that Xbox is going to be right in that boat with them because of the components are so similar, and the time frame of the console build's probably going to be very similar too. So
yeah, I mean that's pretty low, and even for what the hell recently came out, the Switch. Yeah, like the Switch did um 52 million 52 million units in 3 years, which is like if you divide that, they did fuck. What is 3 divided by I'll get this, don't you worry.
yeah, you were about to put me on the spot. I was about to have a meltdown. I was like, oh man, three divided by, well, there's only a few numbers it could be.
So that's 17 million copies a year. So the Switch did 17 million copies a year for 3 years in a row if you average it out.
Yeah, I imagine that the Switch sold a ton that first year with Mario and Zelda and all that, and they kind of it was probably more like 2/3 of that came that first year, and the other third came in the next like couple years.
But even that, dude, if we were even going off of just averages, PS4 wants to sell 7 million copies in the first year versus like the Switch, which is a less big console. There are less Nintendo fanboys than there are PS4 fanboys. Like
Well, think
PS4
about
is
it.
a higher selling console.
The PS4 in its lifetime now, which is just shy of 7 years, I think, is
Yeah.
it has like 105 million consoles sold. So if you break that down, that's a ton. You know, even in that first year, you imagine that it's the PS5 is not going to be able to match that until later in its life cycle, just simply because of demand and yeah, short supply.
Yeah, I mean, just for some fun, quick math, it would still, even obviously, it hasn't done that many copies in the last couple years in comparison to what it did the first, like, probably three, but it would still average out to 15.5 million copies, like,
Right.
every year sold. Even that's, I mean, that's insanely high over the course of 7 years if you were to average it out. But I think that you
R-
probably find that the first like 50 million copies were in the first like 2 years.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the trickle down is definitely in the last few years because
Mm-hmm.
they really were struggling to get over 100 million. Because that was like their big milestone. They wanted to beat out PS2, which
They did.
I don't I did they or was it I forget. Motorcycles are on my end.
Yeah, motorcycle getting it, dude. Motorcycle getting it. The
Yeah,
PS2 had 155 million.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, the PS2 is pretty much unbeatable at this point.
They did beat the PS1 though.
Yeah, I mean the PS1 though is
Well,
was
I mean,
ugly as sin.
yeah, but the PS1 had 102 million sales.
Yeah, so it yeah actually I guess it just kind of crossed that one.
Yeah.
What are the numbers at for PS4 now?
109 million.
So yeah, they literally just crossed that. So
They did. They did literally just cross that. And just for a laugh, somehow the PlayStation Portable did 82 million.
PSP was a big deal, man.
I mean, I
That
played
was
a lot of it, but come on, man. They made
yeah.
good games.
There was yeah. There were a few bangers on there. Final Fantasy Tactics obviously was one of the big ones, and I think there were some Persona games that came out on the PSP too that
Yeah.
really sold it, and that was more so in Japan. But
Just
God of War, there was a big God of War game on that one too.
I do remember that. What? How
Yeah.
many sales do you think the PlayStation Vita had?
Ooh, yeah, that was really low, wasn't it? Did they even reach 10 million?
It is an estimated 10 million. It's not even a confirmed. It's just an estimated.
Yeah, I didn't think they even reached 10 million. That was kind of the flop of the family, really. That
Mm-hmm.
and PS3.
Yeah, I mean the PS3 didn't do amazing, but still had 87 million sales. Actually, it did end up doing better than the Xbox 360 with 84 million sales.
Yeah, it really caught up at the end with games like The Last of Us. Towards the end of its life cycle, everybody wanted that game, so they were buying consoles left and right. And I think right around the time that God of War Ascension came out, a lot of people were buying
Mm-hmm.
consoles. Ben included. He bought or he almost bought the God of War Red console with that game. And I was like, nah, dude, it's garbage. God of War Ascension was terrible.
It's garbage. Yeah, true statement. True statement.
Yeah, yeah, they really upped the game with the God of War in 2017.
Don't you mean Sun Simulator or Boy
Yeah,
Simulator?
boy,
Boy. But
come here, boy. But anyway,
yeah.
so yeah, the Xbox Series, Xbox One X, geez, I'm gonna mess that up forever.
Yep.
The Cyberpunk 2077 edition is pretty sweet, but what's not sweet is Comic Con San Diego is canceled, and I imagine that they're going to cancel pretty much every Comic Con that's going this year. This is just the flagship one that they have every year, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's kind of a bummer. They did say that it's going to return next year between July 22nd and 25th, so those dates have already been set up.
That's
And
good.
I think they did mention that anybody that has already bought tickets, it can either be refunded or it can be used towards the purchase of tickets next year. I could be wrong there, but that would make sense to me.
That's pretty dope. Um, as you know, as somebody who was possibly gonna go to the Boston Comic Con, I'm kind of glad that we didn't buy tickets for it.
We were really close there, man.
I know.
I had just contemplated it right before all this stuff happened. I was like, oh man, we should really get our tickets, get them early, so that
Yo,
we can get the days that we want. And yeah, I'm really glad that we didn't do it because going through all that like whatever refund policy or like figuring out if we can even do it the next year was going to be a big pain in the ass.
yo. So that sucks to hear. The good news is they'll be back. So
Yeah, yeah, and hopefully everything's going to be completely clear and healthy, like 100% next year. Because as far as this year goes, there are so many things getting canceled. Like even as far out as like fall and into this winter, like
mm-hmm.
just shows and concerts and gatherings are just being shut down 100%, and it's a really big bummer.
It is. It is a very big bummer. But
But yeah, what can you do? Comic Con's sick, but we'll see him next year. And I'm sure that they'll have some stuff surrounding that time of the year with people online or some digital events that people can tune into.
yeah, there's
So
always cool shit to do when it comes to like that type of stuff. So
no,
and everybody's been doing a great job at coming up with, alternatives for people to still consume, uh, you know, content.
so speaking of shitty events and things of the past, which we weren't necessarily talking about, but now we are.
Correct.
uh,
Yes. Yes.
Fallout 76. Now we've bagged on this game hard because for obvious reasons,
It's true.
it's kind of a trash pile on fire.
A little bit.
But most recently, they've added their long anticipated Wastelanders update, which has been in development for months and months and months ever since the game came out. People were clamoring for actual NPCs and like a good story thread with like human NPCs in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So they finally released that, and people are actually really happy with it. People are returning to the game, and it seems like the game's going to have a resurgence of life, and good for them because honestly, Fallout needs to be brought back from the dead at this point.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about Fallout 76? Is there any chance you go back and look at Wastelanders? Because I guess the update is free, so if you have 76 already,
I
you
mean,
can jump in there.
personally, probably not. I never actually bought the game. I just watched all the shitty content about it. And
Hmm.
though the game is really fun, kind of, to rag on because it's so easy, it's like a simple target.
Oh my
Um,
god, yeah.
I really don't want it to be because obviously I love that franchise and I love what they have done with the game, not this particular game, but I do love what they have done in the past. Um, so obviously I don't want it to I don't want it to fail. I'd really love to see it succeed. So I'm happy that people are coming back to it and that maybe Bethesda is gonna learn a little bit from this, and their next release might be a little smoother. But it's Bethesda, and track record isn't positive in this past year to 2 years, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and really they kind of shot themselves in the foot as far as this one goes, and just bringing it back, the the two big flops of that year, I believe they came out in the same or well, same like 6 months anyway. Uh, Fallout 76 came out in the same 6 months as Anthem,
Mm-hmm.
and you look back on Anthem and you're like, wow, Anthem is like an actual trash fire, but Fallout 76 at least is now playable and people are enjoying that game still. So
Oh, that game.
so yeah, I still have that game actually. I still have the disc for that one, but I actually returned Fallout 76, so
I think everybody but
that
Anthony
says
did, right?
something. I think. Yeah, I don't think he returned it. He definitely swore off of it though. Finally, even though he swore up and down that that game was good for the longest time. I was like, nah, man. And then he eventually hit the glitch where he lost all of his shit and
Yo.
he sat in a pile of his own tears, and it was a sad day for him.
that seems
But
that seems pretty legit.
yeah, when you lose a lot of time to a game like that, I don't really think there's a much worse feeling
Uh,
being a gamer.
When I was a kid, I had a Dark Orbit account hacked that I had probably about 800 hours into.
Yikes, dude.
And
That's a worse feeling.
yeah, the big thing that they would do would they'd log on to your account and they'd sell everything. They would just sell everything. So it was like you had your level, but that was it. You'd have to start completely fresh.
Damn. So what even was the point of that? Did they like take your currency? Was there a
No,
way to like transfer your currency to?
nope. There was no point. It was just to fuck somebody over. That was the only point of doing it.
Damn.
Yeah.
That
Well,
is that's cruel and
it's a
unusual punishment.
it's a different community. It's much more of a Eve Online community. So, and they're all like they're cutthroat. They'll do anything shy of showing up at your house and burning your router by hand.
Damn. I've seen it. I've seen it out there now.
Oh,
But yeah. So the final piece of news that we have this week is one that's near and dear to my heart because I was an old Sega kid and
hell
I
yeah,
loved this franchise. Streets of Rage is back. Streets of Rage 4 got a release date and a price. It will be released on April 30th of this month, which is going to be sick. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch, and it's only going to be $25.
dude.
So
Kudos to them for releasing a game that's under fucking $30 right now because nobody and their mother is doing it unless it's an early access game.
it's and this one looks like it's going to be so much fun. And couch co-op has been gone for too long.
I
There are
agree.
so few games that actually do it, and this is it. It's a perfect beat 'em up. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Just going back to like Streets of Rage 1 and 2,
Mhm.
like they're just such good games and just so much fun to just like pop on. And even if you don't get past like the first couple of levels, and it's just a ton of fun. And also, it's coming to Xbox Game Pass, so anybody that has an Xbox is going to be able to pretty much play this for free because they're giving away Game Pass all the time. So
Yeah. Also, if you have a computer, you'll be able to play it for free because Windows 10. Um, but yeah, that's pretty dope. I'm actually this is another one of those kind of like niche things that I actually pay attention to sometimes and that I enjoy watching. I enjoy watching like street fighting tournaments and stuff like that. Um, because there's tournaments where obviously like the Street Fighter community comes out and plays, and some of those controllers that they have are so fucking cool. But I'm excited to see like new stuff with this game. And like always, I'm super excited to see what a speed run looks of something like this because like I've seen speed runs of like Street Fighter 2 and stuff like that, but I want to see something a little bit more modern and just kind of see what type of tricks people find and different stuff like that because I think that it's just really entertaining. Um, have you seen one of the new trends that was going around for a little bit, which was the main developers of a game will watch a speed run. It's really
oh yeah,
entertaining.
yeah, yeah. I did see that. I forget the last one I saw. One of them was for the Outer Worlds. When I was playing that, I watched that. The developers watched this guy just beat it in like 20 something minutes,
Yo,
and they were so upset. They were like, "Oh man, this is how we wanted them to play the game."
the dude was like, there was one point where he was like, I know I made that fence jumpable, but I didn't think anybody would actually jump it.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, like, geez, it's how did they do this? Like, I didn't even think of this.
No, I hope that they do it with this game because I think that it would be really entertaining. Um,
Yeah, oh yeah, especially the style of this game, like
oh yeah.
it it lends itself to like just jumping around the screen, beating all the the enemies as quickly as possible, and moving on to the next screen and the next screen. So there's already like a specific time frame that you can only do it in.
Mhm.
So to see that like inch closer and closer and closer to that like promised land of the perfect run is going to be really interesting.
Yo, I very much enjoy it.
Yeah.
So,
But that is everything we have for you this week. Like I said at the beginning, make sure you check us out on Apple Music, Spotify, all our stuff, Facebook page, Instagram, even our meme page. Just search Good Baker and you'll find us on all of those platforms. But until next week, peace.